So today we're going to be looking at the inside of these two Kessil AP9x LED fixtures. I'm going to try cleaning out the dust that's inside. I already tried cleaning them out with a vacuum without disassembly and wasn't happy with the results. So we're going to go ahead and take them apart and see how dirty they are inside, how much we can remove. There's two of these located over a 135-gallon reef tank. And you can see I've already tried to clean these once, but you can kind of see here in the fan there's still quite a bit of dirt in there. It's just so much you can get off with a vacuum and a horsehair brush, and it just doesn't get in there. So we're going to go ahead and take apart some of these screws, and there's some on the other side as well that we'll have to take apart and take the fixture apart. There's some things to be careful about when taking apart, particularly this touch panel and the LEDs. Just there's some fine ribbon cables in there. We just don't want to break those. So to do this, we need a Torx screwdriver, and the size of these is T10, Torx T10. So I'm simply going to unscrew these, set the screws aside, the fasteners aside. I like to work on a clean white towel just so I don't add contamination, and the contrast allows me to see the screws when I lay them out. So we'll carefully flip this over. It shouldn't come apart because the Torx on the other side are holding it together as well. And you can see I have some salt spray on these lenses. I'm going to remove that as well. But first let's get these screws undone. There are 10 of these screws. And they are not all the same length. You can see there's long and short. Take this leveling cord off. Is how I know where to adjust the height of my lights above the water. Alright, so cord's coming out of here, the fan is on the other side, and then there's this light panel here that's attached on the inside. So with all the screws removed, I should be able to pull this apart. And this is about 5-6 years of accumulated dust. Now you can see inside there's the touch panel. I gotta be very careful. I don't want to separate it, but it's probably going to come off. Now you can see all that the vacuuming is missed. In the corners here, there's 5 years worth of dust here on the inside of the top plate. Cooling fins don't look too bad, and the fan just looks horrible. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is try to vacuum off as much as I can with the horsehair brush. I'm going to make sure it's not on 100% vacuum. some of this stuff is pretty stubborn. So we're gonna use a stiffer brush, using a toothbrush here. Loosening this stuff up, and we'll get it sucked out with the vacuum later in a second. Not too worried about the electronics. You can see there's a membrane covering them, so that was actually a good design choice. There, not 100%, but many times better than the way I found it. So we'll put this back together. Okay, now it's time to put it all back together. So this board here can come unglued. I had that happen on one of these. There's a side that's all white, it's illuminated, and then there's the circuitry that's behind it. So the circuitry faces out, or faces the in, and the white needs to face the panel. This is the ribbon cable you have to be careful of. So we're just going to flip this back gently. And this cord here did not pop out for me this time, but I'm going to make sure it lines up when we put this back together. Just get that in that crack there. So just reverse everything from what we had, and I'm going to clean the outside of the case as well, because I can feel some salt spray on here. So we have our screws, and we're just going to put them back in reverse order. Okay, start from our corners and work our way across and around. Not going to tighten them yet, just going to get them in there loosely, get them started. And to avoid cross-threading, what I like to do on the big ones is get my tool in there, spin them backwards until I feel that click, so I know where the start is. There. I never see it. There you go. Alright, now we tighten them up. We can do 4 on the other side as well. Not too tight, just to snug. It'll turn pretty quick, and then it gets tight pretty quick. Yeah, these two back ones go down pretty far, but they will get tight, and you'll Alright, switching to a non-shedding cotton cloth. Use a little bit more force. The paper towel was starting to shed. Okay, let me just get some of that paper towel off of there with this brush. Okay, for the lens and reflectors, I'm using a facial tissue, very soft, very light wiping, mostly dissolving the salt spray so I don't need to apply pressure, just dissolving with clean RO water. Alright, final step, the mounting screws, brackets. Make sure you don't lose those screws when you take these off and set them aside. Alright, the new system is on, up and running. LED panel works, looks pretty clean. This is the next one that's got to be cleaned. You can see the difference, a lot of dust on this one compared to that one.